there's something about going to the racetrack. For the most part, everybody's like, oh, this is a cool place I did not know existed. And they want to come back. And anybody who ever drives a car around a track is like, oh, this is fantastic. I need to do this again. And it's been a dream all my life to race professionally. And now I'm able to compete at a professional level in a pro series. It's the same series that I grew up around that was a big part of my young life, or, my childhood. So there's no place I'd rather be. People say I've given my life to racing, but I say racing gave me a life. I've already sat down with my son and explained to him, I sold my business and I have some money invested, but I've busted my ass my entire life to make that, and I'm going to spend it, and I'm going to have a great time. And I tell him that when he writes the check to the funeral home, it'll probably bounce. Since I was 12 years old, going racing with my older brother, Brian, all I've ever wanted to do is be around cars and motorsports and racing. And pretty much every job I've ever had, everything I've ever done in life has been about racing. I worked in racing. I've started businesses in racing. If I ever had to list hobbies, I put down work, because I worked in racing and that's what I wanted to do. It's that old saying of, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And that's how it's been for me, for sure. They used to have a minor pass that they would give you. It was yellow instead of blue, and it was had a string on it. You would tie it to your belt loop. You got to remember, this is like 1977, 78. But I remember one time going to Mid-Ohio to run a Trans Am race, and my brother and I laugh about it, say we had no business running Trans Am back then. We were just privateers building a car in our garage and showing up just in way over our heads. But we didn't know any better. But it was funny because I remember he was on the false grid, fired up the car. I walked over to pit lane, and the steward at pit lane stopped me and wouldn't let me in. And he said, "You've got a minor pass." And I said, "No, you have to let me in, And finally I grabbed the guy and dragged him over to my brother's car. He's strapped in the car, and I said, "They won't let me in pit lane." And he goes, "You got to let him in. He's my crew chief." The other guys in the crew didn't know what to do unless I was there to tell them. They were just his volunteer friends, his high school friends, right? That was fun, kind of being around it when I was so young. I kind of wish I had taken more of it in, being around some of the best drivers in the world back then. Back then, a race driver was a race driver. They might have raced Formula One 2 weeks before they're racing in a Trans Am race. It was crazy. Just being around all the great talent and the cars and all that, it was pretty special. I remember most of it because we raced in the Trans Am series, and we were a companion to the Can-Am series at the time. So it was Can-Am Trans Am weekends, and because of that, we had the top drivers in the world coming to race Can-Am. So the funny thing about that is that I got to know some of those drivers because I had a little side business. I'd sell fireworks at the races. We would show up at a race, and I would go around and see my customers, and they were some of the more famous drivers. And I like one particular story my brother tells where he's working on his Corvette, and here comes EFR, and he sees him walking over. He's like, wow, and that's his hero at the time, right? So EFR is walking over, and Brian looks up, and he goes, "Oh, he's coming over here." And he finally gets there, and he looks at my brother Brian and says, "Is your little brother around?" He was looking for me to buy fireworks. I remember one particular race, I had brought in a huge shipment. I would have them sent mail order from Florida to our home in Wisconsin. Thankfully, they arrived while my mom was at work during the day, so she never saw the couple 100 pounds of Class C explosives scattered on her our living room floor as I sorted out everybody's order. And, so my brother knew I had gotten this huge order in. We were going to the race that weekend, and he goes, it looks like we're not going to the races. I said, well, what's up? We got to go. I've got all this inventory. I got my customers, big sales, right? And he goes, yeah, I need a clutch for the race car. And I said, oh, well, how much is that? And he couldn't afford it. And he said, well, $75. So I reached in my pocket. Of course, I had a wad of cash at 13 years old, and I peel off the $75. He goes, well, I need a throwout bearing too. You need to resurface the flywheel. So I'm peeling off cash. Can we go now? Can we go to the race?
In that number 49, let's hear it, Patrick Utt.
Some of us are fortunate enough to be able to do it and to do it regularly or do it at this level, at a professional level. This has been my dream all my life. I did go to Europe when I was 18 years old to become Formula One world champion. There was a program. It was an Elf Petroleum in Winfield school in Europe, and they were looking for Americans with talent. And so, and it was a competition, and the winner of the competition got to go on and compete against the Europeans. And actually, the person that beat me went on to win a sponsor season of racing in Formula Renault, which at the time it went Formula Renault, Formula 3, Formula 1. I found out I was not going to be Formula 1 world champion. So I didn't have the talent or the funding. But I gave it a shot. They were looking for an American with talent. I got in front of the right people and realized there were definitely drivers better than me. I wanted to go racing. I went to a fast V8 powered race car. I didn't start in smaller scale cars or anything like that. So that we call that kind of jumping in the deep end. And then what's the most competitive racing series and type of car in North America? It's probably the TA2 cars. Well, that's what I bought. I wanted to run with TRB Autosport, and I needed to learn the tracks. I hadn't been to many of the tracks that Trans Am runs at, and I definitely needed seat time. And what I found out is how much work it takes to be good. I've had great teammates with TRB Autosport. Barry Bowes was one of my teammates, and he worked so hard at it. He could run with the professional drivers, the kids, the NASCAR kids that come into the series, because he treated it like a job. But he had time and resources to do that. And now Jared Odrick is my teammate, and I see where he brings, being a professional athlete all of his life, he brings that same work ethic to driving a race car. I didn't know you could spend so much time looking at data, looking at video, and learning about the cars and talking through things. I run my TA2 car with 100 pounds added to it in SGT, so I'm not racing with the TA2 race. I'm racing with the TA race, and that's worked so well that my plan was to run this entire year in SGT and then next year go to Pro-Am. This is the bed that my crew made for me, because during our debrief, when we're going over data and video, it usually cuts into my nap time, so I start nodding off during the session. So they just thought they'd make it easier for me and just make me a little bed. And what they didn't realize is I was actually going to use it. So now I lay on it and I just watch the debrief, and when I doze off, I'm in a comfortable spot. I am the old man on the team, so sometimes during our data and video sessions, I nod off.
I mean, we're here driving race cars, and this guy's taking a nap.
They laughed, and I said, oh, this is great. I could just lay here and watch the session until I doze off.
I'd like to lobby for all sessions to be before noon.
Oh, yeah.
Because that would be a benefit for Patrick, so yeah. I think we should.
I get sleep in the afternoons. We're gonna see if Trans Am can change that schedule around. I might have to switch classes just so I can do the morning sessions. And actually, at Indy, it started. A lot of people have come up to me and said, "What are you doing over here? You need to be back in TA2 Pro-Am. You can run with those guys now." So that the plan is working perfectly. definitely had goals and ambition and was driven, yes. Well, I've thought about that, of why I have that drive, and I think it's because my father left at a young age. So, always have something to prove. I want to prove I'm as good or better than the rest of the competitors. This season I've had P2 and P3, so I've been on the podium just about every race, but not that number one step. When that happens, it'll be something special. It really will. It'll be a culmination of a lot of hard work, a lot of dreams, you know. Nothing else I'd rather be doing.
It's neat to see now, as I start my second season, where and how these young drivers are both mentally and physically growing. You know, I coached one of the Tovo twins last year, and he showed back up at the hotel yesterday. I hadn't seen him in a year, and he's a foot taller and looks 5 years older, and it's only been 15 months. And so, you know, seeing these drivers come through the process is neat. From my perspective, is really neat. It's neat to see that growth.
This is my time to break. This is my time to rise, take a piece of that cake. This is my time to eat, I was given a taste. I was too small to see, now I got what it takes.
They quit tomorrow, I don't care. They want to drive, they drive. They do it for themselves, and that's all I want.
My dad's always been, listen, if you want to quit, you tell me. He's like, I'm doing this for you guys. He's like, I love spending our time together here, and it was always whatever you guys want to do. He was never forcing anything on us growing up. It's always just whatever you guys like.
Too wide with Jackson Tovo and Joe coming through turn one, bouncing over those curbs here. Jackson Tovo trying to make up some space from the earlier mishap that he had to pull over, restart that car and get rolling again. Good job here as he's knocking on his door, trying to get back into the top 10 here.
Any of my kids, do what makes you happy and just work your ass off for it and do the best you can.
I mean, you know, just like everybody else. I mean, everyone puts pressure. Everyone wants to win.
Tovo now closing on these two leaders. They're not even fighting. He's just got raw pace to close that battle up. He had quite a challenge from Merrill on the restart. Was able to stay on the outside of one and is now closing that gap.
Push ourselves to the absolute limit in everything we drive. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty hard on myself when it comes to doing that, just because it's so important to me, because, like, everyone wants it bad, and the closer you get, the more you want it. We all do, like, in our household, me and Ethan, we both put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be up front.
They tell me how much they want it, and they show me how much they want it. Jack won his first late model race this weekend, and it's been a while since he stood on the top step, and he was really pumped about it. It was nice to see that. He's very outgoing. Ethan keeps his little motions a little more close to the chest, so I think it almost bothers him more. But they want it. They want it. They work hard at it. They work really hard at it. Tenacious, honest, hardworking.
It's really difficult. I've normally, like, come to a series, I've had the pace to, go up and win it, and it's been a really big learning curve coming to here and being okay with being not top 5 every weekend, know what I mean? It's been difficult, but I've learned a lot, and we're getting better, and we've had a couple top 5 so far, and hopefully we get a podium by the end of it.
Jackson's car rebuilt after a wreck yesterday, this morning, to make the grid in time. Got into some oil from another car and got into the barrier at the inner loop. Remember the car, just like we talked about a second ago, shut off at one point. fell back in line, and now he's rallying again. Looks like he's going to go run on Federo there as they come down into the boot. Federo forced wide, and Jackson Tovo will get that spot up to the 11th position.
So I'm the youngest, and then Jackson is, I think, like 20, 30 minutes older than me, so he has that on me, but nothing else.
Boy, they're very different.
Everything we do. Sim is competitive, homework, studying, grades, everything.
It's true. One time we were in the bus, we had bunk beds, these boys stay with us. And I saw them, one of them brushing their teeth. I think it was Ethan brushing his teeth. And all of a sudden I saw a shoulder come out of nowhere and Jack body checked him across the bathroom. It's my turn. Like they don't stop. It's something else, but it's a good time.
It can be with racing, who can eat our food quicker. It's honestly anything that requires two of us.
It's hard to scoot around on this thing, so I'm trying to figure it out.
It was pretty destroyed before this, so I'm glad I fixed it, but I did like a B- job.
I can't draw. I try to avoid that stuff. I don't think it's too bad.
They look great from about 5 feet away. When you get up close, it looks awful.
It's gonna melt anyway.
Came out easy on Jackson's car, not so easy on mine. There goes the nut, and there goes the bolt.
All right, the nut is somewhere under the car.
Where'd my hat go?
For school, you either get to choose some sort of internship, or you go on like some school trips or activities.
Oh, dang, right on the money.
I got right on it.
Good job.
We're learning. So today we're doing an internship at Lee Falk Racing.
Don't go up, remember? You're good.
Shady, if I get 18.998 instead of 19, is that fine?
So we're learning about everything about what it takes to get these cars on track and to keep maintained. We are working at the shop for a week just to learn more about the cars and, you know, get some experience on what I'm driving instead of just driving it. Was I doing it right?
Yeah. So.
Learning about how it acts, what it does, what different things do, I think that's really important just for like giving teams feedback, but also just like having the general knowledge, like if something goes wrong, you can help. I might not be strong enough to get it.
I feel really bad for what I did to the grill last race. I pushed it in, I spent about an hour beating out with a hammer and then bending it back. And that was fun to get it back, but it took so long just for one piece to think about everything else. It all adds up.
While Jackson's doing the left side, don't tell him he's doing it wrong. Just let him do it. While Ethan's doing the right side, don't tell him he's doing it wrong. Just let him do it.
Can I do the left front and the right front?
You can do the left, I already did. Well, the left front's already, you can do the right front and the...
Let's do the rear, then the front.
I'll do the rear. If I need help from you, I'll ask.
Everything is a competition. Everything we do is always competitive between us.
Oh, Jack, can you do the bottom now?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, yeah, I thought you did the bottom.
No, didn't.
Actually, no, I got it. It's fine, it's my shot.
I'll hold it.
Jackson.
I'm gonna literally hold it for you so it doesn't bounce at me.
I can't reach.
I got it. I'll go into the car.
No, I got it, dude. He wants to help, I want to help. We both want to be the one that does it. So, I don't know, we take turns. I mean, I'm fine. Like, we know how we'll switch like every 10 seconds. Like, no, let me do it. Like, I'm used to it. Like, I just let him do it, and if he fails, then I do it again. So, I don't know, just normally it's pretty much how our day goes, but it gets helpful in the end to have like 2 people be wrong instead of just one. I'll push down, you pull up, or like, it's like double the strength.
No.
Do you want me to do it or not? Can I help you, please? Or can I at least get it loose, then I'll let you do everything else?
No, I think I can get it loose.
I don't think you can get it loose.
You can.
Let's watch you do it then with your little baby arms.
I think it keeps us, I'm gonna say motivated.
No progress is being made. Something happened.
Good thing this is not my car.
Hey, I didn't even touch it. That's literally how it was. Well, normally I start it, then he'll be like, no, you're doing it wrong. And then he'll step in, and then we'll both
He
be
will
wrong.
be doing it wrong.
Well, then we'll both be wrong, and then we'll just like find someone else that knows what they're doing, and we'll figure out what we're doing wrong.
We're pushing each other and trying to make each other better.
I talked to your brother about this. The camera will show it as well. I said that this car, unlike the other car, the bolt.
Oh, you have to hold the other side.
The bolt's not welded, so you gotta hold the bolt on this one. So if you go get the wrench,
Oh my god.
that's under your leg. Yep.
Can we delete all of that?
This isn't going anywhere.
A number of years ago, we started Skilled Nation as an organization to fund scholarships for skilled trades training. And nothing says skilled trades and skilled careers like racing. Skilled Nation actually has some automotive roots. One of our original funders was the former CFO of NASCAR. And so right from the beginning, we had an awareness that the automotive side was an important element of the skilled career landscape. And so coming back to racing and sponsoring the TA2 car with Graham, number 19, in some ways it's kind of coming home to our roots. Our roots aren't really that old. 5 years ago, we did not exist. We were an idea. And we're simple folks. We have NASCAR and Home Depot DNA. And we realized that there was a gap between the skills that America had and the skills America needed. Because everybody's working on Graham's car, everybody's working on any of these cars has a passion and a real skill. And Graham realizes that. And if you take Graham's realization of the value of his skilled technicians and his love and passion for racing and the academic angle he takes to the studying of the numbers and studying of the footage, it's just a perfect situation for Skilled Nation to be involved in and sponsor the car. So we're really proud to have Graham running number 19.
Well, I think that's why it's the perfect place to have Skilled Nation with us. And I'm really happy because it was supposed to originally just be for Indy and Road America, but we're going to do it for the rest of the year.
I went to the Toyota Grand Prix with the Haas racing team, which is also Toyota Gazoo Racing, and there saw the passion that these technicians were bringing to their craft there in the Formula One level, and then knew that Graham was racing here at TA2, and so started to spend a little more time with him and this team, and understood just the passion and the excitement and the fit between what we talk about at Skilled Nation, which is skilled trades, skilled careers, excellence, and what we see here in the garage and on the track, which again is skilled trades and excellence. I mean, a great story about Graham. I remember just yesterday coming in the trailer, and someone told me he was in the back, and there I was, and I went back to the back, and there's a 17-year-old kid on his own. Nobody's making him. He doesn't have an assignment due, but he's poring over data from the races, trying to figure out how he can shave off 0.2 seconds here, 0.5 seconds here, compared to other drivers, compared to himself, trying to figure out their fuel load differences. What just the dedication he was bringing on his own volition to this craft of racing.
Yeah, left rear is good because it has that B on the carousel and in the king. So, I mean, in there it was good. I was rolling like 128, 129.
What I've seen of Graham, a great race is I did okay, and a bad race is he just doesn't say anything. But he doesn't get angry. He takes it and learns from it.
You feel like you had another lap in him? Yeah.
He's so calm. I think a lot of people think when they meet a race car driver, they're gonna meet somebody that's exciting and jittery and edgy, and that's not the case at all. Graham is a perfect example of a race car driver, and he is calm, he's collected, he's kind, which actually makes him a great leader for the team, right? Because he can work well with other individuals. He's articulate, which makes him a great spokesperson, which I know helps the sponsorships like us. But he's just a great ambassador, I think, for the team and for the sport.
I think it's a really great program to support, and I think they have a lot to do at the racetrack. And I mean, there's everything you could do at the racetrack with skilled trades. You could work on the cars, you could work on, I don't even know, you could work on the tow trucks, you could do pretty much anything.
This sport has made a 17-year-old kid want to do his homework. And that, to me, is one of the most extraordinary things about Graham's journey, because I can tell you, a couple years ago, Graham didn't want to do his homework, and he's found a passion. And that is what so many people who find a path in skilled careers learn. They weren't engaged in school. They weren't engaged with the job they were doing. And all of a sudden, they find something that they love doing. And unfortunately, we have an education system that's too often set up not to encourage that. There are a lot of high schools that got rid of shop, got rid of auto class.
and instead tried to send everybody to a 4-year school. And that's great for a lot of people, but not everybody wants to do that. Not everybody wants to handle the debt that comes along with that. And so here at Skilled Nation, we know that debt isn't only associated with 4-year degrees, it also costs money to get an associate's degree or to get a certification in auto maintenance or aviation maintenance or HVAC. And we're here to provide scholarships to bridge that gap. And our scholarships are flexible because we know that sometimes students can afford tuition. That's not the issue. The issue is the tools they have to buy, or the living expenses, or childcare, or transportation, or fees, or other things. We got over 10,000 applications last year. 10,000 applications from Americans that want to work, that want to get these skills, and we just need more support. We looked at the problem and tried to figure out what the most simple, easily executable solution was, and we realized that scholarships of $2,500 to $5,000 would get someone across the finish line. We call it completion capital. It's flexible, individuals get these grants and they finish. Over 90% of our scholarship recipients finish. Over 90% of those that finish are employed within a year. And 75% of those, 75% would have struggled or been entirely unable to complete their training without their Skilled Nation scholarship.
On behalf of everyone here at Racing America, we want to welcome you to the 2026 Racing America Partners Summit. And thank you for joining us here in this iconic Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We just came off of Indianapolis where we had our first partner summit and letting our partners at least talk to each other.
I'm going to be brutally honest here. I do a lot of business with a lot of sanctioning bodies and a lot of different groups. And 80% of them, at the end of the year, thanks for the check, see you next year. And yeah, they used our product and they put our signs up, but they weren't partners.
There's been more business-to-business developed this weekend as a follow-up by more of our partners than in the last 18 months. I see this company in the last year that I've been here transform dramatically.
Scott says, this is what I need. I said, okay, this is what I need. He said, okay. I said, get your contract. But that's why I do business with them, because they're very easy to do business. When you have a problem, you call Scott, hey, I need this. Okay. When he has a problem, he calls me, hey, Russ, I need this. Okay. And it's easy to work with.
It's night and day difference, and I say that from people working better together. Our paddock sees it, our social media reflects it, the product on TV is showing that, and our partners are saying that.
We're not marketing to the fans, okay? Our business ecosystem is inside the racetrack, right? So Stack Auto Systems, Tizers Live, Mission, Sunoco, companies like that, including ourselves, right? We buy insurance. This is our platform. And for us, it's being inside, being at the racetrack, talking about how we can help you run a successful business when you're traveling all over the country from a risk management standpoint is why we're here.
If you spend money partnering with Racing America and its series, our number one priority is to get a tremendous ROI, somewhere in the neighborhood of 5x or greater.
For my world, it's a long-term relationship. I'm not selling a widget on a daily basis. I'm selling, this is a relationship, that information about architecture and interior design. And it can take 5 to 6 years to actually build that relationship before somebody's going to give me a $200 million contract to build a high-rise.
If we're not thinking about every one of those people who roll in here to have a great experience, it's why they're here.
We're not going to be Trans Am, and we're not going to be SVRA. We are going to be Racing America.
I've always been a Trans Am fan. I've loved Trans Am all my life. Why does it need to be around? Because it gives people joy. And it's challenging. We get aggravated, we get mad, coming up here, we drove, for 15 hours to get here, and we're trying to get in a truck stop and we're all upset. You got to stop and say, stop. We're very fortunate to be here. The Lord has gave us the opportunity to do this, and let's take it.
racing in general, it's not like football, it's not like baseball. It's, people can actually, imagine and put themselves in position to drive a car and come out here and perform.
I was marked when I was 5 years old. My neighbor raced at Asheville Speedway, Hickory Speedway, back in the day, circle track. He marked me. To this day, he's my hero. He worked on his race cars. He let me go in the infield with him. I was a 7-year-old kid running around the infield at Asheville and Hickory Speedway, and that was normal life for me, and then of course life takes hold, got kids, everything, and built my business and wanted to start racing again, and do it legally, I guess we'll say.
I grew up a huge NASCAR fan, and road racing always piqued my interest. I was a big fan of Jeff Gordon and watching him race in road racing, and it always drew my attention that he was such a good road racer. And I started watching road racing more than I did a lot of oval racing, and got into IMSA and even Trans Am, and it was really special to see these big high horsepower Trans Am cars and find out that these drivers don't have any of the electrical handicaps, like with the stability control, ABS, any of that, and they're piloting these machines with 850 horsepower plus.
It's the challenge of competing, and doing things that can't be done, and making deadlines, and we thrive on that.
We thought we were where we wanted to be with where we were at, and we'd always talked about wanting to maybe one day jump into a 2-frame chassis car just to kind of see what we could do, because in other venues where we'd race, we'd see cars that were GT1 cars, like, man, really would like to try that one day. And being super attached to the cars that we were, the way things played out, I mean, it was a tragic day watching 2 of your favorite cars go up in smoke. All the time and money invested in those cars, watch them go up in smoke, to now having moved on to these platforms and being able to compete at that level. It's it's definitely the Lord works in mysterious ways, there's no doubt.
So April 6th of 25, we lost two production cars, C5s and a C6, in a trailer fire coming up Interstate 75 in Macon. Batteries had come loose, exploded in the car, in my son's car. Of course, my car was on top. His car burnt, and it burnt my car up as well. We lost 2 cars in a trailer and tons of tools and everything. So we spent the whole last year of rebuilding this and come across the GT1s. Thanks to Kerry Hitt for that. Got the first GT1 car, and we were like, man, we're kind of hooked with this, And with the power of the cars, it's like 830 horsepower, man. It's hold on, To me, it is a last form of raw racing. No traction control. It's raw dogging it. Here we are, and hang on. Riding a roller coaster, these things are, and they're mean. They're mean cars, and they are just. Like I said, I love this. The Trans Am series.
Yeah, what's great is we're racing with the Goforth family, father-son type of thing, and they're really fast. I mean, they went by me at the start of Indy. I went, doggone, they both got me. So they're really fast. It's fun competing with them. They race clean, so they're very welcome here in this paddock and in our race group. I hope to get more of them.
You get to a point in your life where I am now with young grandchildren and things like that. You start to realize what are the really important things. And there's a number of those father-son relationships in this paddock that if you spend some time with them, you'll find, like John DeGaynor and his dad. I mean, they're racing the same car for, I think, 60 years together. And they have those kind of experiences together. And it's so interesting to be able to sit down and talk with those folks and understand that bond that's happening here in this paddock. So it's not just a race weekend. It's a time that you're not going to have forever. And they enjoy it and appreciate it. And it's happening lots of places around here. So I'm glad we can be part of that and facilitate it.
The 10 car is Ethan Tovo, the now 16-year-old, originally from the Chicago area, now in the Charlotte area, the Lake Norman area, pursuing his career, along with his twin brother Jackson.
I drive them to school virtually every day, and they have a routine. It's in the morning, I'll read their moods, and I'll put some music on. We're a big music family, so I'll throw on Violent Femmes, or maybe the Beach Boys, maybe some Frank Sinatra, whatever it needs to be, some reggae, this. When they're in a bad mood, they have like Three Little Birds by Bob Marley in the morning. But I won't even talk to them. We just drive to school, and then I'll pick them up after school, and they just talk about their day, and I just listen. Sometimes I give advice, sometimes I don't, but I cherish it. And they get their licenses this week, and they start school in a month or two, and they'll be on their own. I'm gonna miss that.
Yeah, we talked about it the other day. We probably talk about it once every week or so. How he's gonna miss driving us to school every day. We used to drive, we listen to music coming to school. We hang out, talk. It's just fun. We're still gonna do that. I think he's gonna drive us the first day of school. I'm gonna let him have that because it's his favorite thing to do.
I think one of the things I did, I'm sure a lot of 16-year-old kids did, is they put distance from dad. They're becoming their own men. They're growing up. They have all these things going on in their mind, and I don't think it's anything I can change or anything that's bad. It's just men. As they become young men, they grow, that gap grows. And I think it comes back later in life, but it definitely grows at this age.
To be honest, I think he'll still be doing it sometimes. I like driving, but it gets so boring when you're on the road and you're going so slow. I cannot do it. After all this racing, I just sit there and I'm going 40, and I'm like, this is just, it's something that I gotta get used to. But I still like it when he drives me around because I can just kind of sit there and chill.
A buddy of mine had older kids, and he gave us a ride-on fire truck and a ride-on, a little electric ride-on John Deere tractor. And so the boys, they got them when they were about 3 years old to be 2 years old, and they would ride off our driveway in a circle onto our neighbor's driveway down this little 3-foot tall hill, and they would just do loops. And they would spin each other, and they would pit each other, and they would go for hours, and I'd swap batteries. They'd go back out there. And they just did that for hours, day after day. They just loved it, just going in circles.
He'd have to pull us off. We would not want to get off. And I think he did a battery upgrade on there, with a Milwaukee battery. So we could come in and he'd put a new battery on it, and we'd go out and have fun. And we used to have a hill next to our house growing up where we'd drive out, and you pull out of the driveway, probably go 25 feet, go on a hill, and then drive back down the hill. We just keep doing circles around this hill and keep going down. It was so much fun.
We had the Power Wheels. We souped them up too. You can put the bigger batteries in them. So we did that. We also raced on those. I had a John Deere and he had a fire truck, so we were going pretty hard at that.
I remember, I think it was Ethan's first time on it. He drove into, our neighbor had these concrete lions, these statues next to his house. And Ethan just rammed right into it the first time. We were probably 4 or 5, and we just caused mayhem all around driving these things.
It was fun. It was fun just to sit outside on my porch and watch them laugh. But I didn't tell them to do it. I didn't force them to do it. They just smiled and drove. So I've got 4 kids all together. My oldest is a pastor in South Carolina. And then my daughter, she just graduated college. And You know, it's so I've got to see them get older, and they are a bit older. So there was a big age gap. So I think I missed it. I think I just missed having that simplicity of it all. So to sit there on the porch and watch those boys drive around and smile, it was something that I missed. And it's not that I was a bad father for the first two, but I appreciate it more with the age gap and the second time around. It's just a good feeling. I remember vividly after they were born. They were born, I think 29 weeks, just over 2 pounds, and it wasn't a very positive experience, right? But I remember at dinner one time, I was at a business dinner, and the hospital called and said we had to come right away because Ethan coded. Yeah, you know, to have them here still after all this, to see how good they're doing with life and how happy and healthy they are, yeah, it means a lot to me. You know, you don't ever forget what you've got. You know, just you have to appreciate it, and I do. Every time I'm here, I don't. When they get out of the car, I'm not mad that they didn't do something. They do the best they can every time they get in a car, and I don't have to tell them to get in the car. I don't have to tell them to practice. They do the best they can, and that just makes me happy.
That is the fight for 11th place for Jackson Tovo, also celebrating a 16th birthday with his twin brother Ethan.
They will do whatever it takes to get something accomplished. They'll help you, they're honest to a fault, and they're tenacious. They'll get after it.
As Ethan Tovo has stayed clear of Thomas Merrill and is trying to find a way to hang on to that podium spot. It'd be his first of this season.
My life is like so much different, and it kind of like takes a minute to like really realize that, because like not many people get this opportunity, so you really have to just put all the work in. And so like my friends were like, do you want to hang out? I'm like, I can't today. Like I'm busy like 5-6 days a week, so it's pretty hard to like kind of, my friends don't really understand that, but you know, I do.
Boy, Ethan brought a lot of speed in the 9 and wasn't able to get to the bottom there. The 26 was able to do that and get a little bit of a drive off. Looks like the 10 is trying to square the corner off a little bit more to make sure he's got that run off, but Merrill's been able to keep with him here. We're going to have a battle as they throw the block down into 1, 2 wide. Merrill to the outside, tough place to pass. He's going to lean on him.
Oh, throws it into the corner, just can't hook it up to keep it there. And Tovo will hang on to the podium spot for now.
I'm very proud. I'm very proud of all of my kids because they're all independent and they're all unique, and I believe they're all chasing their dream, not mine.